Race 5 of the Dunlop Production Touring Car Trophy, with the random draw for the Race 3 grid, choosing position number 5, and in this case car number 5, Gary Duckman from Race 2 as the man shifted to pole. Top 5 then reversed, which leaves our Race 1 winner Adrian Churchill starting in 5th position. So Gary Duckman, the blue car of Josh Cook, then Liam McMillan and Kevin George on row 2. Churchill and Thomas Carnaby on row 3, and away they go. Not the fastest of starts from the yellow and blue Seat of Gary Duckman. And let's see if we can spot the nose of Adrian Churchill. Well, straight out front, Josh Cook takes the lead. Into second goes Liam McMillan. So it's McGann and Seat Leon first and second. Whoa, drifting out very wide, Kevin George. That's a bumpy old ride as he struggles to recover his composure. And comes back on at the hairpin around the outside of the number 7 of Ryan Bensley, the black Astra with the pink highlights. See how dry it is here. It's not rained for a couple of months at Snetterton. Very dusty when you go off. And all of the new groundworks with the grass seed that was put down, well, that's had a real struggle growing. Josh Cook leads then from Liam McMillan. 4th place at the moment for Adrian Churchill, a Race 1 winner. And contact perhaps for Thomas Carnaby. Back bumper of his car flapping away. Now Josh Cook, winner of Race 2 at Silverstone. Can he escape here as Liam McMillan holds off Gary Duckman? And Adrian Churchill is in 4th position. As Adrian said, mechanical woes at Silverstone stopped him perhaps from running potentially to 4 straight wins so far. There's Joe Gerling looking strong here as we ride on board with race leader Josh Cook, grabbing another gear in the McGann. The traditional line at Snetterton, right hard up against the pit wall to try and get some sort of aerodynamic effect there. He turns in the lead ahead of Liam McMillan, number 5, Gary Duckman. And Adrian Churchill, oh, as Joe Gerling runs out very wide. The approved dusty Kevin George line around the outside isn't going to help him much. So through they come. And there is the number 2 car, still flapping that bumper. I'll check Josh Cook's mirrors. Oh my goodness me, straight down the outside comes Liam McMillan. Wow. I was expecting to see him maybe showing his nose, but he came straight by. And that happened to Cook in race 4 of the championship as well, round 2 here, didn't it? Because he was coming out of the slower corners onto the straight. McMillan just went steaming by. Well, there's certainly no questioning the handling of Josh Cook's Renault McGann. So Liam McMillan in front, courtesy of a really good run onto the Bentley straight. And Josh Cook now giving chase in the McGann. This is our Race 2 winner, Adrian Churchill. He's got a run going on 3rd place man, Gary Duckman. Duckman on the inside, takes the racing line. Churchill cuts back to the inside. Duckman went for the grip a little too soon. Left the door wide open. Adrian Churchill scrambles through, and as long as you stay on the track, it almost doesn't matter how slow you are off the corner. Makes it very hard for the other driver to come back at you. Well, the hairpin there, the Montreal hairpin, one of these new features on the circuit, may well help with more overtaking there. Certainly makes a slow run onto the straight a possibility, and means that you can be even more vulnerable. Well, nobody in Churchill's mirrors at the moment, and you can see the yellow and blue Seat Leon of Gary Duckman behind him there as car number 1 turns in 3rd place into Brundle and Nelson. The complex formerly known as the S's, through the bomb hole. Oh, and Josh Cook kicking up the dirt. Of course, anytime your wheels go off the track onto the loose, they will spin up, and that means they're not driving the car forward as efficiently as somebody who's got both slick tyres at the front, or at the rear if you're in the BMW, firmly planted on the tarmac. Slicks are great for grip on the tarmac, but they're about as hopeless as road tyres when you put it on the dust. On board with Josh Cook then in 2nd place, and our race leader Liam McMillan is pulling away as through again on the inside comes Adrian Churchill. Well, Josh Cook again leaving enough of a gap for Churchill to get through. He's been held to the outside here, cuts back. But this is perhaps the weakest section for the McGann, and once more the Astra's turbo chimes in nice and early and just pulls Churchill away. That's a very dispiriting moment for Josh Cook, seeing that gap just growing, even though he is revving the nuts off his little Renault. Just can't close the gap under acceleration and not enough under braking. The Astra's too far ahead when they get to Brundle and Nelson. Let's see if he can make a little bit more of the bomb hole and Coram. Nice quiet hands on the wheel, getting loads of grip there from his McGann's chassis and the Dunlop slick tyres. You can see that the Astra drifting way out from the apex, but they are closing a little, I think, on Liam McMillan. Second and third. Josh Cook still looking for a move, but it may have to be right at the end of the lap. Liam McMillan still leads in the red Seat Leon from Adrian, Churchill and Josh Cook. The rest of them streaming through. Here's Kevin George. Chasing number 2, Tom Carnaby. And with our second place man, championship leader Adrian Churchill. Relentlessly running down Liam McMillan. McMillan on the curbs. Again, the wheels spinning up, not maximum traction. And Adrian Churchill giving the Astra its head. Nice crisp gear shifts right on the edge of the red line, and you can see in his rearview mirror he's just got the overlap and he takes the lead. He had the inside line covering the corner as they got onto the brakes for Brundle, and Churchill back in front. Sweeping out of the bomb hole. And look how much he's left Josh Cook behind. The blue car not even in shot. As Adrian Churchill leads from Liam McMillan. Again, McMillan able to hold a tighter line. But Churchill only needs to get it right as he gets on the brakes and sweeps through Murray's. Kicks up the dirt on the exit, but not half as much as McMillan. And McMillan into the pits. And that looks like the end of his race. So Josh Cook up to second. Gary Duckman in third. The battle for fourth then. Joe Girling versus Kevin George. Then for sixth, it's the BMW of Rob Smith versus the number 10 McGann of Maurice Hayden. Well, back with this battle, Joe Girling in the green and black car. After sitting out the whole of race one at the side of the circuit, I'm sure he was feeling very sorry for himself on Saturday night. Got a good race in, first race on Sunday, and now he's having a real old dice with Kevin George. Giving a good account of himself as well, Joe Girling. Kevin George just with enough of the overlap. Yes, yes, he commands the corner at Brundle, and he moves up into fifth position. So that battle continues at the moment. Dan Malone in trouble though, the driver from North Wales on the podium at Silverstone, but all sorts of mechanical woes with that Seat Leon this weekend. It's been an unmitigated disaster. Long trip to Snetterton, and he will go home empty-handed and disappointed. Meanwhile, Maurice Hayden with the inside line. Ooh, squabbling with Joe Girling, and they just avoid dramas there. Hayden moves up one, that puts him into sixth position at the moment. And closing in from behind, Rob Smith in that BMW. And here, number 2, Tom Carnaby, ahead of 7, Ryan Bensley. Whoa, massive lock up there for Joe Girling as he drifts off wide, and that doesn't look good. I think he's coming into the pit lane. Yes, he is. Well, a major problem for him there, immediately rearing its head as he got onto the brakes in the final corner, Murray's. Meanwhile, dice for third. Gary Duckman has now got Kevin George on his tail. Gary Duckman, Seat Leon, as Adrian Churchill continues to romp away from the field. Josh Cook, some way behind him, I'm afraid, out of contact with the Astra driver. And the checkered flag awaits once more for Adrian Churchill. Mechanical woes denied him in race 2 at Silverstone, but he's won all 3 here at Snetterton to make it 4 wins for the season. Josh Cook in second, Gary Duckman Seat holding on for third, ahead of Kevin George. But a good weekend for Kevin George, starting with his Astra in Class A. Then behind, here's the dice for fifth, Maurice Hayden ahead of BMW Rob Smith. Tom Carnaby, the number 2 machine, in sixth, seventh rather, just ahead of Ryan Bensley, the local man, in 8th position. Well, the second podium of the year for Gary Duckman, a second podium too for Josh Cook, but Adrian Churchill coming from 5th to claim the win at Snetterton.
More enjoyable to do that than it is to lead, but you know, if you get the break to start with and you can lead like that, you know, you have to do it to save your tyres. And you know, we're only allowed 4 new tyres per meeting, so you know, if we can make the break, you know, we have to do it and get away and save tyres, and then you know, it just proves the point. You can then do what we did in the last race, you know.
Lucky for Liam to get a mechanical failure, really. I don't think he's fighting for the championship, but yeah, we're lacking quite a lot of straight line speed. That seems to be where everybody's overtaken us this weekend. Our cornering speed is very good, so we just need to work on our power that we have.
I saw the other Leon go in and I thought that's put me up to third, so I just relaxed a little bit and tried to keep hold of third, but Kevin made me work for it pretty hard. I've got to give credit to him. He pushed me all the way to the line, and I thought another lap or two probably would have got me. I was in a world of trouble really with tyres, so good fun.
So it is Adrian Churchill on the top step of the podium. Our championship leader extends his advantage over Josh Cook and new third place man Gary Duckman.